In the middle of buttfuck nowhere lies a shitty motel inhabited by some old granny who has clearly crocheted one too many doilies. She hears voices, she kills people, you get the idea. A couple of comparable movies passed through my mind as I was watching this, such as the original Psycho and Crawlspace from 1986. However, Mountaintop Motel Massacre doesn't come close to touching the psychological merits of Psycho, and this old granny simply doesn't have the creep factor that Klaus Kinski oozes in spades. Though I was somewhat impressed with the old lady's performance while attending her daughter's funeral, because I couldn't tell if she's actually really sad or pretending to be, or perhaps the actress was just simply falling asleep while the camera was rolling and they decided to just use it. Who knows? There are glimpses of violence and gore, but for a low-budget 80s slasher, there's not enough of it to satisfy a viewer who was drawn in by a movie with the word massacre in its title. And it doesn't help that most of the characters in the movie are just kinda bland. Aside from one guy pretending to own a record company in order to get laid, none of the other characters really interested me that much. If I'm being completely honest, the goat at the beginning of the movie probably had the best screen presence out of everyone. And what's with the sheriff in the movie? Right from the beginning, he seems heavily concerned, as if he's going to be all over this woman like white on rice. But then he pisses off for pretty much the entirety of the movie, only to swoop in at the end on some sort of John Wayne bullshit. But at that point, he can't even handle an old lady? The dude gets choked like a bitch. Like many 80s horror flicks, this one does sport a nifty little musical theme. It's nothing memorable, mainly because the movie itself isn't really worth remembering, but it's simplistic and has some charm to it that fellow old-school horror fans will probably appreciate. Mountaintop Motel Massacre isn't a great movie, but it ain't bad either. I found the beginning and ending to be somewhat enjoyable, but there were moments throughout which struggled to hold my attention. But if you're a fan of the genre from its time, you'll probably find this one to be okay, as was the overall experience I had with the movie.
Away